What's up, tennis peeps? In today's tennis tip, I'm going to show you how to get more power on your forehand and backhand tennis ground strokes. Now, just because you hit hard doesn't mean you hit in. So more specifically, I'm going to show you how to hit a heavier ball, a ball that has not just compression, but also rotation. So I just want to give a huge thank you to everyone that has supported this channel through subscribing and liking the videos if of course you like them. And also don't forget, if you have any questions about any of the material or if there's anything else you want to see me do a video on, please leave a comment down below and I'm going to get back to you. So I really want to talk to you guys about why you want to become a string breaker. But first off, how do you break strings in tennis? I know a lot of people that hit the ball really hard but don't break strings, and I also know people that hit a lot of spin but don't break strings. So what is the component that breaks strings? Now basically, if you ever have broken a string before, you're going to know that you'll break a main string and not a cross string. And what happens is, if you do it right, this main string is going to rub back and forth on the cross string, and it's going to put a little groove in the main string. In fact, if you ever pull a cross string down, you can actually look at it from an angle. This one's kind of hard to tell. You hear it pop back in there, but I actually specifically got this very dense string pattern with a polyester string, so I would break less strings. Although it's good to break strings, and that should be your goal, at some point you'll get to the level, hopefully, where you're just sick of it and you don't want to have to pay the extra money and you want something that doesn't break a lot of strings. But basically, to break strings, it's not just getting that main string to rub against the cross string, it's getting the main string to mush and to rub against the cross string. So I like to tell my clients, you got to get the strings to mush it and move it. So there's a couple reasons people don't break strings. And I'm going to go over and show you a couple issues with players, why they're not doing it. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you a couple drills you can do. But drills that can help you a little bit. But to be honest, when it comes to ball striking, it's such a subtle thing that it's only through understanding that you can truly make this change. That's why it's so important to understand this concept that I'm going to go over with you. Now, there's a lot of people that hit very hard but don't break strings. These are people that have a very common issue of just coming straight into the ball, where they just hit very flat, the ball barely clears the net, and the ball has lots of compression, but it doesn't rotate. Now, the other problem with these people is, unless they hit perfectly over that few inches over the net, they're going to miss in the net or long. So just because you're hitting hard and flat doesn't mean you're going to break strings. So even the flattest ball, you really want to think about getting at least a foot below the ball. This would be on a low passing shot and maybe just hitting up slightly there. So those people aren't going to break a lot of strings. They're getting the strings to mush, but they're not getting them to move. Then you have the people that try to get lots of spin in the wrong way. They're going to come in and they're going to get spin, but they're going to do it by trying to come in and over the ball. They're trying to make this racket move on the ball, where what I always like to tell people is, you're not trying to get the racket to move on the ball. You're trying to get the ball to move on the racket. So the racket face stays very constant. And then if you do this right, the ball's going to mush in, it's going to roll a couple inches, and that friction's going to carry it up. So what you're trying to do to get this right combination of mushing and moving, where you get a ball that not just compresses, but compresses and rotates, is you're trying to make sure, like I said, you're trying to get way below the ball and then go up and through the ball with a constant racket face, not trying to flip over at the hit. This is a very common misunderstanding of pros. They're thinking that the spin's coming from some sort of last-minute flick or forearm rotation, where that really happens a little bit certainly as they're striking, but really that's mostly after the ball's gone during their recovery from looseness or relaxation. So there's a couple drills you can do that I find people that have that flat, straight-in ball, they'll actually struggle with just something as simple as this. I call them friction bounce-ups, just getting the ball to spin on your racket. And when you get really good at it, you can keep it going. But you'll hear the ball make a ching sound, you'll hear those strings move. And that's what you want to do. You want to get the ball to try to move on the strings and have kind of a violent impact with that ball. Now, there's a close relationship between doing this to get the ball spin and then understanding how friction makes the ball go up and how you can't really come under and over the ball. You might feel like you can, But the 4 to 6 1/1000ths of a second that ball's on the strings, the racket's only in one position. You can't get very far over it. Now, the drill for you guys that are getting all this topspin, but you know your higher level opponents are kind of just teeing off on it, it's not because you're getting too much spin, it's because you're not getting spin and compression. We can look at a player like Rafael Nadal who's getting massive amounts of spin, but we know his ball isn't some sort of floaty, sitting up type of ball that's being put away. So what you guys can do to work on your compression is, once you understand that this isn't a thing, this isn't really creating any type of spin you want, that you just need to go up and out through the ball with a constant swing, what I'd like you to try to do is feel this elbow lift when you drop hit a ball. Just put your hand under your hitting elbow, and just when you hit, feel if you can lift. And what I want to see you do is try to freeze with your arm way out to the target up here before you relax around. So watch, I'm going to lift my elbow and I'm going to go out through the ball. I'm not going to get to here and then stop this segment and then flip my arm. You can just go out, lift your arm, and you're going to feel yourself not just rotate, but you're going to compress that ball much better. You're going to hit a bigger ball. So hopefully this helps you understand a little better how that ball interacts with your strings and how to mush and how to move those strings when you hit a ball. So I encourage you, go out there, become a string breaker, and then you'll also be stimulating the tennis economy, because you're going to have to pay to get your racket strung. You're going to have to buy 2 rackets, and your local pro shop can thank me. Hey, please subscribe. Please like the video if you like it. Leave any comments down below if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time.